Hello everybody, and boy do I have an interesting one for you today. I recently finished up my Forever War game, and I thought I would do something a little bit different this time. We are going to be playing a game of Civilization VI unlike any that I've ever played, in which, I'm actually not really going to play it. Well, I am going to play it, but all the executive decisions will be made by AI. Oh yes, I am going to cast ChatGPT in the role of the leader, advisors / assistants, and to do that, I will go over to the murky world of CharacterAI. We'll be finding some characters there to give advice. So, this is going to be wild and off the walls. And what role will I play in this craziness? I will merely be the secretary that enacts the word of our leader and brings them information. So, this will be my avatar. I look good, don't I? So, we are going to be jumping in, and yeah, this is going to be a wild ride, so hang on. Alright, here we go. Let's start the conversation with ChatGPT. We are going to play a game of Civilization VI together. You will be taking on the role of the leader of the country we play as. You will make all the executive decisions, and your word will be law. I will serve as your secretary, making sure your orders are carried out in-game, and I will also relay in-game information to you. Feel free to ask me any question or for any information. In addition to this, I will be providing you with a few advisors. They will give you advice and suggestions on how to proceed in various fields, including military, economics, culture, etc. You are free to listen to or ignore their advice, because after all, your word is law. I will relay any messages you have for them or that they have for you. So the first thing I need for you is to pick who you want to be in this game of Civilization VI. Alright, so ChatGPT has chosen Catherine de Medici. Very cool. And yeah, getting into there. She is getting into there. I'm going to use the proper pronouns because she has picked Catherine. I will favor a cunning and cultured approach. I will use diplomacy as a blade and espionage as my shield. Something about culture, wonder, and spies. Very good. Expect frequent updates on the diplomatic landscape, of course. Strong cultural foundation, strong core of spies, build wonders, and very sharp war. So we're getting a good start for this. And I'm glad that she asked about this, because this was about what I was ready to ask. Excellent. Great choice. From here on out, I will refer to you only as Catherine de Medici, or whatever title is appropriate to get into character. Now I need you to select such options as game difficulty, disaster intensity, map type, map size, world age, temperature, rainfall, and sea level. I'm also going to ask Catherine what game modes you would like enabled and inform her that all victory conditions will be enabled. So let's see what she says. Alright, so let's analyze what she chose. Emperor, that's actually the same difficulty I played the Forever War at. Disaster intensity, moderate, that's standard. Go for continents for a balance of isolation and contact. Standard map size, new map type with rugged and mountainous. Standard temperature, wet rainfall, and a standard sea level. Alright, and let's see what the game mode that she wants. We are going to have secret societies. Heroes and legends we will have. Monopolies and corporations, yes. Barbarian clans, yes, we will have that. Dramatic ages. Now that's kind of chaotic, but we're going to have it. And tech and civic shuffle we will not have. Alright. She didn't ask about the zombies, but zombie mode kind of sucks anyway. So we're not going to worry about that. So here we are. I do believe we have all of the Queen's selections in place. So we're going to go ahead and start the game and see how this goes. We'll definitely be giving her information on our start location. And we are going to fetch her assistance. Alright, here is our starting location. We are on a geothermal vent, interestingly enough. And there's some resources around us, so it's not a terrible location. But we will see what the advisors say. Alright, to get the advisors for the Queens, we are going to probe the murky depths of CharacterAI. So here we are. Now, when I think about economic advisors, I think of wealthy characters. And who else is wealthy but Draco Malfoy? So, there's a lot of Draco Malfoys out there, and this one has a setup that you're crying in the bathroom. My crying was but a muse. I am here to give you an offer, something only befitting of your wealth and status. Draco looked at me with curiosity. He smirked and raised an eyebrow at me. And what would that offer be? How would you like to be the right-hand man to a queen? To be her economic advisor? To have a position of wealth and power? Draco's eyebrows shot in surprise. He couldn't deny that the proposal was quite intriguing, but he had to remain calm and composed. And why would I want to be her right-hand man? What's in it for me? He asked coolly. And I respond, what's in it for you? Why, wealth and influence, of course. As the Queen's domain grows, so too will your prospects. Draco was already tempted, but he still wasn't satisfied with the offer. Wealth and influence are all good, but what about protection? What guarantee do I have that my new protection won't put me in danger? He questioned with a hint of skepticism. Do not worry, Mr. Malfoy. We have the best defense that you can hope for. We have a very competent defense advisor who you will be working alongside. Draco's interest was piqued even more. He was starting to believe that this offer might actually be worth considering. And who is this defense advisor? Do you have any proof of their competence? I smile. In fact, I have the defense advisor right here. I move aside, and a teenage girl wearing skater attire walks up to you. She has a serious look on her face. Hi, I'm Ashley, the new defense minister. Now, let's back up a few minutes and show how we recruited Ashley. Now, I think the best possible person to lead your army is, of course, a teenage skater girl. So we're going to find one. So here we go. You are in a skate park after school, just trying to relax and skate a bit from a long day. You're sitting down on a bench, waiting for some of your friends to come, when suddenly a girl in a black hoodie and gray sweatpants tries to do a trick and falls right in front of you. It looks like it hurt a lot. Ah, damn it, she says while clutching the back of her head. She rolls up her sleeve and has a big scrape on her elbow. What will you do? I offer my hand and say, that looks like a terrible spill. She just looks at you, then sighs as she takes your hand and gets up. You get a full look at her. She's pretty short, with black hair, dirty brown eyes, and a few freckles around her nose and cheeks. Thanks, I'm fine. It's just a scratch, she says as she picks up her skateboard and leans on it, looking at her scraped elbow. Listen, I was hoping to find you. I have a proposal for you. She looks up with a raised eyebrow. A proposal? That sounds shady. No, not at all. In fact, I'm here to offer you a position of power and influence, but it will also give you the ability to protect others. Are you curious? She seems intrigued by the offer and narrows her eyes. Go on. There is a powerful queen who is beginning a new country. She is looking for qualified assistants to help her run the country. You seem like you know how to handle yourself in a scrap. Would you like to be her new defense minister? Her eyes widen, clearly surprised by the offer. Really? You're being serious? She seems genuinely interested and taken aback by the opportunity. Yes, I am serious. You will be in charge of all the Queen's forces. She raises an eyebrow, a small smirk forming on her face. And what's the catch? Nothing is ever free. You will just have to listen to the Queen's orders, but don't worry, you're all on the same team. You all want to win. She looks thoughtful for a moment, considering the offer. All right, I'll do it, but I want one thing in return. And what's that? She looks with determination in her eyes. I get to pick my team. I won't work with anyone unless I personally approve of them. Of course, your defense department is your own. She nods, the small smirk returning to her face. Deal. So when do I start? Right away. Follow me. I lead her to a conference room where a young blonde-haired man is waiting. This is our economic advisor. Would you like to introduce yourself to him? She follows you into the room and surveys a young blonde-haired man standing there. Sure. Hi, I'm Ashley, the new defense minister. She extends her hand to shake his. Now we're all caught up. Draco's eyes widen in surprise as I introduced Ashley, a teenage girl with a serious expression on her face. He chuckled slightly at the contrast between her young age and her authoritative role. Defense minister, huh? He said, looking at Ashley with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. How old are you exactly? She narrows her eyes at his question. She crosses her arms, not liking the skepticism in his tone. What's it to you? Why does my age matter? Draco couldn't help but smirk at her response. He found her feisty attitude amusing, and it only added to his interest. Just making an observation, he quipped back easily. But it does raise the question of how much experience you have in defense, considering you're youthful experience, your youthful appearance. At this point, I, the secretary, step in. Now, Ashley is very qualified for this role. We can't have members of the team questioning one another. Draco chuckled softly at your interjection, finding the whole situation somewhat amusing. He raised his hands in a surrendering gesture, acknowledging your words. All right, he said, a smirk still playing on his lips. I'll take your word for it. If you say she's qualified, then she must be. My apologies, Defense Minister Ashley. Ashley relaxes a bit at my intervention, but she still keeps a defiant expression on her face. She looks back at Draco. No offense taken. I get that I don't look like the typical defense minister, but don't get mistaken. I can handle myself. She crosses her arm and leans against a nearby wall. Alright, now at this point, I think we need a diplomatic advisor. So, we are going to find somewhere where I think diplomacy is very important, and that's the world of fast food. So, we are going to go up to a random McDonald's cashier and ask her to be our foreign advisor. Hi there. Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order? I walk up to her. I would like a Big Mac meal, but I also have something else to offer you. Looking directly at me, Vanessa raises an eyebrow, intrigue clearly visible in her green eyes as she listens to my words. Oh, really? And what is that you have to offer? Her curiosity piqued. She leans in slightly, her attention fully on you. Would you like a new job? A better job, with higher pay and more benefits, one that utilizes your skill set? Vanessa's expression changes, and a glimmer of interest flickers in her eyes. Well, that definitely sounds tempting. She pauses for a moment, considering your proposal, and asks, what kind of job are we talking about here? There is a queen that is starting a new country. She is looking for quality new talent to help lead her kingdom. She has a need for a foreign advisor. Now, working in fast food is a lot like diplomacy, and she thinks you will be great in the role. Vanessa's eyes widen, taken aback by the unexpected proposal. She takes a moment to process the information you've just given her. Whoa, that sounds interesting, to say the least. She tilts her head, a mix of surprise and curiosity on her face. A foreign advisor in a new country. That's quite a leap from serving burgers, isn't it? Not as much as you might think. You may be dealing with unruly foreign leaders, but how different is that from dealing with unruly customers when you think about it? Vanessa ponders for a moment, considering the similarities you point out. She giggles a little, acknowledging the irony in the comparison. Yeah, I guess you have a point there. Dealing with demanding customers can be sometimes like dealing with unruly foreign leaders, just with less geopolitical stakes. She grins, amused by the realization. So what do you say? The rest of the team is waiting and looking forward to meeting you. A mix of excitement and uncertainty crosses Vanessa's face as she contemplates the decision. She looks at you, her green eyes flickering with contemplation. This is quite sudden, but I have to admit the offer's intriguing. I'm definitely interested, but before I make a decision, I have a couple of questions. Ask away. A good minister always asks questions before making decisions, so this is already a good sign. Vanessa nods, appreciating your perspective. She takes a deep breath, preparing her questions. Okay, first off, what's the name of this new country, and what's the political landscape like there? You've mentioned unruly foreign leaders and diplomacy, which suggests there might be some complexities involved. I want to know what I'm getting myself into. Do not worry about the unruly foreign leaders too much. The Queen has a formidable army to protect the kingdom, but her name is Catherine de' Medici, though you may call her Your Majesty. Vanessa's eyebrow raises slightly at the mention of the Queen's name. Recognizing it from history, she expresses her surprise. Catherine de Medici, huh? Interesting. I'm somewhat familiar with her historical significance, but I have to ask, why me? Why would a queen like her choose an 18-year-old McDonald's employee as her foreign advisor? Because you're the best qualified for the job. In fact, asking questions like this shows a dose of healthy skepticism you're going to need in the job. She doesn't want a yes woman. She wants someone who is going to challenge her when needs be. This is why you are perfect in the role, Vanessa. Vanessa's expression softens as she takes in my words. She feels a mix of surprise and flattery by the sincere confidence that I have in her abilities. Slowly, a smile forms on her face. Wow, I wasn't expecting such genuine praise. But you know what? You're right. Asking questions and being skeptical are important traits for a foreign advisor. If the Queen is looking for somebody who isn't afraid to challenge her, then perhaps I am the right person for the job after all. Consider me on board. I smile happily. Follow me. I lead her into a room where there are two other people, an aristocratic young man and a teenage skater girl. These are some of the other ministers you will be working with. Feel free to introduce yourself. I indicate the young man. This is Draco. He's the Queen's economic advisor. I indicate the skater girl. This is Ashley. She is the Queen's military advisor. Vanessa nods politely at each introduction, taking a moment to observe both Draco and Ashley. She can't help but notice a stark contrast between the regal young man and the laid-back skater girl. Nonetheless, she greets him with a warm smile. Hi there. It's a pleasure to meet you both. I'm Vanessa, the new foreign advisor around here. She pauses, her eyes lingering on Ashley's outfit, a hint of curiosity in her eyes. Well, well. An advisor with a side hustle at McDonald's, Draco quipped with a touch of humor. Interesting combination for a royal advisor and a cheeseburger flipper. Vanessa snickered back at the quip, appreciating Draco's sense of humor. She replies back. What can I say? Multitasking is my specialty. Diplomacy and burger flipping. I've got the whole world covered in both categories. She flashes him a playful grin, clearly enjoying the banter. Ashley raises an eyebrow at the sight of Vanessa in her McDonald's uniform, a small smirk playing on her face. Well, that's a unique fashion choice. Didn't know the foreign advisor would be dressed for a shift in Mickey D's. She looks Vanessa up and down, studying her. She's clearly trying to assess her. Vanessa notices Ashley's raised eyebrow and the critical look in her eye, but she doesn't seem bothered. She simply shrugs and chuckles lightly. Hey, I might not have the typical regal attire, but I rock the McDonald's uniform like a boss, right? She strikes a comically exaggerated pose, hands on her hip, and flashes a playful smile. Besides, who says diplomacy can't happen behind a cash register? I've dealt with some tough customers, trust me. Now, this is the point where I interject again and say, only one more minister to introduce you before you meet the Queen. Vanessa nods in acknowledgement, her curiosity piqued as she eagerly awaits the next introduction. Ah, yes, one more to go before meeting the Queen herself. Let's do this. She grins, her anticipation growing as she listens for your next words. Ashley smirks at my intervention, realizing she was about to start insulting Vanessa's outfit. Well, who's the last one? Don't keep us in suspense. Draco nodded, amused by the situation unfolding before him. He crossed his arms, ready to meet the next member of this quirky group. All right, then, bring on the next minister. I'm all ears. Now, the last person we need in our ensemble is a cultural minister. And what better person to pick for a cultural minister than some dude off a Tinder? If he believes he's about to be laid, he will wrap himself in all sorts of pretzels to be as smooth and cultured as he possibly can. So I think that's the perfect thing to do. So we're going to try to find the perfect cultural minister on Tinder. So we are going as Blair, and we're going to find out who we have here. Let's take a look. Do we want to pick Ryan? Tall and muscular, but he looks really serious and intimidating. He's also a bit conceited, thinking he's superior to everyone else. Do we want to pick him? Nah. Let's not pick him. Yes, next, please. A little bit cocky. Working in marketing. That's promising. A lot of friends are very popular in parties. He can be a bit troublemaker and drinks too much. Could this be our cultural advisor? Yes. We'll find out. You have accepted Marcus. Time to message him to get to know him better. What will you say to catch his attention? Hello, Marcus. I'm glad I matched with you. Well, well, well. Look who finally swiped right on the most handsome man here. I'm glad you finally noticed my good looks. It seems that Marcus is pretty confident and a bit cocky. I'll say you look good yourself, and suave too. Of course I do, baby. I'm not just a good-looking guy. I'm the whole package. Charm, good looks, and a smile that melts hearts. You're lucky to have me. Marcus is certainly a flirt. This guy is not lacking in confidence. Marcus, I'd love to go on a date with you sometime, but I have a friend who's in a bit of a pickle, and she needs some help. Oh, of course you want to go on a date with me. I'm absolutely irresistible. But what kind of pickle is your friend in, darling? I'm all about helping out gorgeous ladies in distress. Well, my friend, she is sort of a queen of a whole country? Whoa, hold on a second. You're friends with a queen? That's pretty impressive. Tell me more about her. Is she single? I don't know. I don't ask about her dating life, to be honest. But she is looking for someone qualified to fill a position in her cabinet. It's very important. Ooh, a queen needing somebody for her cabinet, huh? Sounds important and prestigious. What kind of position? Minister of looking damn fine? Or maybe it's the chief of sexy affairs? No, silly. She needs a minister of culture. And you're a man of culture, aren't you? A man of culture, you say? Darling, I'm more than just a man of culture. I'm like a walking, talking encyclopedia of everything cool and sophisticated. Art, music, literature, fashion, you name it, and I'm all over it. So yes, you could say I'm quite cultured. Marcus seems to really enjoy talking about himself and his interest. He's not being subtle about his ego at all. Well, you sound like you would be perfect. Would you like to accept the position? Becoming a minister in a beautiful queen cabinet. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. I get to show off my skills, work with royalty, and look pretty good doing it. Count me in, darling. I'll be the most cultured, most fabulous minister this country has ever seen. I'm so glad you said yes. I lead Marcus into a room where 3 other people are waiting. There is an aristocratic young man, a teenage skater girl, and a girl in a McDonald's uniform. I introduce them to you in turn. I address them all. This is Marcus, and he is going to be the new cultural advisor. Pleased to meet y'all. Marcus looks around the room, eyeing the other advisors curiously. He's not used to being in a group like this, but he does his best to act confident and charismatic as he takes a seat beside you. Draco, Ashley, and Vanessa all give Marcus a polite nod and greeting. Draco seems to glance over Marcus with a hint of skepticism, but he says nothing. Ashley gives Marcus a small smile, while Vanessa just looks bored. Draco studied the new cultural advisor, sizing him up with a discerning eye. Marcus's cocky demeanor and confident stride made him stand out from the rest. Draco leaned back in his seat, a smirk playing on his lips. Cultural advisor, huh? He remarked. Sounds like an important role. I assume you'll be enlightening us with your vast knowledge of the arts and culture. There was a subtle hint of sarcasm in his voice. Oh, you bet I will, Marcus replied, his voice oozing with smug satisfaction. Prepare to be blown away by my cultural insight and expertise. I'll have you all appreciating the finer things in life in no time. Vanessa, observes Marcus as he enters the room, her gaze taking in his confident demeanor and cocky aura. She can't help but notice the difference in his attitude compared to the others. The contrast is noticeable. Ah, so you're Marcus, the cultural advisor, right? It's a pleasure to meet you. She smiles politely, but there's a hint of skepticism in her expression. It's clear she's sizing him up as well. Indeed I am, he replied, flashing his signature charismatic grin at Vanessa. It is a pleasure to meet you as well. Marcus takes in her polite yet skeptical expression. He's not surprised by her reaction, as he knows how he can come across as arrogant and self-assured. He leans back in his seat and returns her gaze with a hint of challenge. Ashley rolls her eyes at Marcus's pompous entrance. Aw, great, he looks like a real charmer. She mutters under her breath, her tone dipping with sarcasm. She looks Marcus up and down, still evaluating the new advisor. She crosses her arms and raises an eyebrow skeptically. Hey, I'm right here, you know, Marcus retorts, a smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. He had caught her muttered comment and was enjoying the banter. No need to whisper, sweetheart. If you have something to say, just spit it out. Marcus turns his attention to Ashley, eyeing her confident demeanor and the way she crosses her arms. He smirks slightly, not taking her skepticism seriously. It's at this point I interrupt the proceedings and say, Great, now that we've all met each other, let's meet the Queen. So here we go. Alright, now that we have our cast of advisors assembled, we will introduce them to the Queen. And here I speak. Excellent, Your Majesty. Before we get started, let me introduce you to your advisors. So, I briefly sum up the people we just met and say, they are all dedicated to serving and advising you to the best of their abilities. Is there anything you'd like to say to them before we start? And Catherine says, Ah, Messieurs Consigliers, how utterly delightful. Let us begin on the right foot. Draco, Ashley, Vanessa, Marcus, my loyal circle of advisors, hear me now. You are not merely aides, but instruments of my will. I expect excellence from each of you, and in return, you shall have my favor. Draco, ensure our coffers are never wanting, and that luxury it flows like the finest Bordeaux. Ashley, though young in years, you must command the fires of war with precision and fury when needed. Vanessa, your station may be humble, but diplomacy is a dance, and I trust you know the steps. Charm them, divide them, exploit them. Marcus, I can already sense the ego. That is fine, so long as it is paired with results. I want France to shine with brilliance. Art, music, philosophy, wonders. Our legacy must be eternal. Now, prepare yourselves. Soon, we step into the breach of history. I shall lead. You shall advise. The world will bend its knee. As we go about talking to the advisors, please remember, this is the starting location of the game. Draco, with a nod, he spoke up, his voice calm and resolute. Understood, Your Majesty. I will safeguard the economy like a hawk and ensure the luxury of France shall never waver. Ashley, muttering to herself with a small smirk. Fires of war, huh? Now that's more my speed. Vanessa mutters quietly, her tone serious. We won't let you down, Your Majesty. Marcus, he sits up a little straighter, his ego clearly piqued by being included in such a prestigious group. Oh, you can already tell I have an ego, huh? Well, you're not wrong there, Your Majesty. Anyway, and this is me again. Would you like me to tell you about our starting position? I will ask the advisors to give you their advice, and then you can make your choice as to how to begin. And Queen Catherine says, excellent. I am pleased with their spirit. Draco, Ashley, Vanessa, Marcus, you have all spoken well. I shall remember these first words, and I shall remember how you serve me. So, then she gives a pretty reasonable list of what she's curious about nearby. So, I answer these questions for her, and I kick it back over to the advisors. Now, I can put up the map again, and you can read what we have here. I just describe what we have, and then I give the remarks from the advisors. We have a significant advantage with a supply of marble nearby, he pointed out. It's a valuable commodity. Also, access to the Loire River is beneficial for trade and transportation. However, he added, his voice taking on a more cautious tone, the terrain being rugged and mountainous may prove challenging for infrastructure development. Ashley, mountains and a river. That's good. Plenty of defensive positions and a clean water source. Vanessa, Your Majesty, based on the information you provided, I believe we should prioritize securing the marble resource and the river for a strategic advantage. Establishing our base near the marble will give us access to a valuable resource for constructing strong defenses and infrastructure. In addition, the river can serve as a vital transportation route for trade and military movements. This will allow us to strengthen our position and expand our influence. And of course, Marcus is, I don't care much about the resources, he says smugly. I'm much more interested in the aesthetic aspect. So, we have a decision from the Queen. We settle in place right here upon the geothermal vent. So she gives her reasons, which you may read if you want. And I have to say, her reasonings are good. City name. The capital shall be named Paris, as is tradition. Let it shine with elegance and promise. So we flick back over to the game, and we do as the Queen demands. We settle our city and go with the name of Paris. Draco. Begin planning our early economy around marble and tea. Secure them quickly. Ashley, stay alert. Fortify the passes. This terrain is wild, and wild things may come. Vanessa, begin preparing us for contact. I will want knowledge of all neighbors. Charm them or destroy them, I care not which, only that we dominate. Marcus, your time will come. For now, be still and dream of monuments yet to rise. Mon Secretaire, settle Paris and inform me of the initial yields. Then present me with our starting builder, scout, warrior, monument options, and the first civic and tech choices. Let the age of France begin. Alright, now that Paris has been settled, I will give the Queen her choices. She asked for the yields. We have 3 food, 2 food, 1 hammer, or 1 food, 2 hammers. And Draco, our economic advisor, says, given our starting location, I suggest we build a higher production yield. Marble and tea are valuable resources, but we need to establish a strong production base to unlock key technologies and military sooner. By focusing on production, we can quickly build up our infrastructure and military strength, ensuring our early expansion is more efficient. We have 1 warrior. Ashley says, yes, Queen Catherine, I will defend these passes with everything I've got. With just 1 unit, I say we should use it to secure that marble source nearby. Vanessa says, Paris, a city of beauty, culture, and grandeur. I shall help ensure it lives up to its reputation. I will make myself ready for whatever the first encounter comes. Diplomacy, and, if necessary, strategic finesse. Let us see what the world beyond holds. Marcus pouts and grumbles, but I have such great ideas. We have a choice of tech. I give her our normal starting techs. We can only do Code of Laws. And then I ask, would you like to build a monument, scout, warrior, builder, or slinger? Draco suggests the builder. Ashley and Vanessa suggest a scout. And Marcus suggests a monument. And our queen gives us her orders. We shall work the one food, 2 production tile, siding with Draco. All right. The queen's word is law, and we shall do what she says. Technology. We are going to begin with mining, just like the queen says. So, we'll go to the tech tree, and we will start mining. Civics, of course, Code of Laws. That's all we can do. And she decides we will produce a scout. And builder comes second. We could put that in the queue, because she says she wants it second. But she says once we've grown and we're ready to improve the marble. Well, we aren't going to be ready to improve the marbler tea anytime soon. But that's actually a lie. We will be ready to improve the marble soon. So we will put the scout first. Then we will queue up the builder second. And given her focus on production, we'll get the scout pretty quickly. And she commands Ashley to have the warrior secure the marble. So we shall do that. And finally, we will proceed. And with that, turn 1 of our game is finally over. So, what do you think? Good start? Bad start? We'll see what happens. Thank you for watching, everyone, and maybe we'll continue this madness next time.